and that is that Tony Khan has finally announced that ROH TV will start airing on Thursday, March 2nd, 2023, with tapings taking place later this month from Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida, otherwise known as the Old Impact Zone. Tony Khan originally said that Ring of Honor's TV return would be announced following Final Battle. However, following Final Battle, he revealed that it would be after New Japan Pro Wrestling's Wrestle Kingdom show, which made everyone think, well, wait a second, are New Japan going to be involved in the relaunch? New Japan Pro Wrestling then cancelled New Japan Strong, which of course is their United States show. So everyone was like, well, New Japan must be involved in the relaunch of Ring of Honor. However, a couple of days ago, New Japan announced that Strong will be rebooting and will be coming back very soon. And now, Ring of Honor has been announced on Honor Club. No links to New Japan at all, it seems. Whatever was going to happen between Ring of Honor and New Japan seems to have just completely fallen apart. And it comes down again. Everything about this new Ring of Honor so far has been an absolute disaster. It truly, truly has been. They wanted a TV. They spent a year trying to get a TV deal. And I know some people are saying they took a year to get a roster. No, they didn't. They basically had the same roster they had right at 9 months ago, more or less. They took a year to try and get a TV deal. They failed to get a TV deal. They then returned to Honor Club, which they already had. It's been a complete disaster. And the New Japan thing's completely flopped. And Anthony, I know you have quite a lot of thoughts on this, so I'm going to go straight to you straight away. What do you think about it all?
I mean, I've been a Ring of Honor fan for a long time. I signed up with Honor Club pretty close to the launch of it. It was a couple of months old when I signed up for it, and I kept it because you got all the pay-per-views included with it for the $9.99 a month, plus all the the back catalog stuff. The new Honor Club. Okay, you're getting the back catalog, but you're not getting the pay-per-views, but you're still paying the same amount of money. I think that's a problem too, because WWE gives you the pay-per-views, Impact gives you the pay-per-views, except I think their big four are the only ones they don't include in, and the Impact one's actually cheaper than Honor Club. The biggest problem is I think Tony Khan bought Ring of Honor without a clear direction on what exactly he wanted to do with it. Or things fell apart. I don't know what happened there, but I didn't agree with running pay-per-views when you don't have weekly TV. And what you end up doing is, okay, well, AEW gets pushed aside to promote this Ring of Honor show. And I know the audience didn't like that. There's too many champions between the two companies. And I just really feel like when he bought Ring of Honor, if the intention was not to just use it for a tape library for an eventual AEW streaming service, then you shouldn't have seen Ring of Honor until he was ready to relaunch it. I think the only positive that has come out of the Tony Khan era of Ring of Honor is the FTR Briscoe matches. Other than that, I don't see what positive has been done to the Ring of Honor brand other than that. I really don't.
Great points. And like you said, you've been a Ring of Honor fan for years. And I was one of the very few people who, for the last 2 years of its existence, I watched Ring of Honor TV every single week. And yes, some weeks were quite mid, but a lot of weeks were great. And I truly, truly was a fan. But I cannot, despite the mess that it was in financially and even booking at times, I still think this is going to be an even bigger mess because I don't think anybody's going to be watching it. I think you're going to have a product with quite high production costs, higher than before. And I don't think you're going to be having as many people even watching as before because I honestly don't know anybody who's paying this money to watch it. Because I know it's not started yet, but I haven't secured a single person. I know Soul, you bought the Honor Club subscription, but you cancelled it.
Well, whoa,
too much storage.
Give me the floor right now, you little cheeky shit. Right, I bought Honor Club, but I had to delete it because my phone didn't have enough memory. I have a new phone now, reinstalled Honor Club. I have now gladly purchased it, and I am now watching Ring of Honor on my phone as I enjoy a nice wee steak. Now, going to Ring of Honor as well. You mentioned the roster, right? Ring of Honor, from what I saw when they shut down, pretty much everyone was released and gone, right? Everyone was gone. There was no Righteous being, doing stuff. There's no Righteous. There was no Silas Young. There was no Everyone who was released from the, like, because they said in the press release from Sinclair, everyone was released and could do what their own thing. The only thing I really saw about Ring of Honor when the whole shutdown happened was Gresham doing his world championship around the world thing, right? Everyone who was, doing their thing, people got picked up by Ring of Honor, Danhausen and everyone else, and people went to other stuff. Roxy went to Impact and dropped the title to Deonna Purrazzo and then went to NXT, right? There was no roster, right? There was no roster when Tony Khan picked it up. It was scrapped. And honestly, Tony Khan was the best person to have bought this. Who else would have bought it? Billy Corgan? Would he have just made it NWA Diet? Or what would have Vince done with it? Just make
Diet
it
NWA. That's
that's
the quote of the century.
Well, what's Vince going to do with it? What Vince would have done with it? He just have it some
Tape
shit
library. He would have tape librared it.
Yeah, he would have tape librared it. Would have just been some add-on on the WWE network, and it would, or revived like ECW. Who knows? Maybe we would have got Do-Rag Vince 2 as Ring of Honor champion, right?
That's fine.
And now with Tony Khan buying it, has it been successful? No. Has it been better than the Ring of Honor was before? I honestly would say yes. I would say it would.
No.
You didn't watch it before.
I did watch it before. When Final Battle was coming up and I heard about everything going on, I decided to watch the product previously. And it was okay for what it was. Look, I will give Sinclair their props for what they did during Ring of Honor in the pandemic, paying their workers still and, making the best thing for them. Props to them for doing that. Final Battle, I was fairly entertained. And with Tony Khan under the belt, they mentioned that Death Before Dishonor was the highest, attendance gate before, like for the whole thing. This is the best one they've done since then. So there has been an improvement before that. And now, Ring of Honor going back to the tapings, you got to start small. Remember, Ring of Honor and Impact before they shut down were like down below, right? Then it was WWE, AEW, and New Japan, right? And everyone else was just on the damn picking level down here, right?
I got your back here, Soul.
No, I'll get. Don't worry, you'll get to me.
No, keep going. No, I know. Keep going though. Is what I'm saying. I got your back.
Look, there's no one else who could have bought in it that could have done anything with it. It would have either gone to some shite hole who's just like, this is just a brand who has got recognition now and have that. At least Tony Khan put some effort in it to have the belts being advertised on AEW television to show it to the fans and, hey, it's still alive, it's still around, we're going to treat it well as we can, seeing to the networks and all that, hey, this is the number of company you can get, and heck, TNT and TBS and all the HBO stuff. He's like, yeah, you could have it on a show because with these streaming wars and everything, you need content that can be cheap and produced quickly to draw people in for the prices of monthly subscriptions, right? And then we've got the TV tapings coming up now. It's a good way to do it. Some people said, why not just cancel Dark or Elevation? Because people who go to AEW shows might not want to watch a Ring of Honor 1 hour show, right? So you got to try and get that Ring of Honor fan base in. You got to try and get the AEW fan base who are interested, and you've got the big names, right? And you mentioned the Briscoes and FTR, right? That has been a good version, right? That's been good.
Only highlight.
I mean, look, I'll even say that Wheeler Yuta and Daniel Garcia has been entertaining for me. I've enjoyed what they've done as well. I've even enjoyed the embassy matches with them against Dalton Castle and the boys. There's been parts of it I've personally enjoyed. So I honestly feel, heck, we're all going to Ring of Honor in LA as well. So who knows? Well, that would be fun. I'm up for that. I mean, you guys might sleep through it and I'll take all your beers and shit and I'll enjoy it myself. But
we'll be there.
But look,
you're going there for Mania. It's just that's a throw-in.
Yeah,
we're still excited about it. Whoa! Don't take it away from Soul like that.
No, that makes it sound like he's flying out just for the Ring of Honor show. Come on.
I love the Ring of Honor as an addition as well. But yeah, we're going for Mania as well. Cool. As always, as it is, right? But look, people shitting on Tony Khan for all this shit is absolute bollocks. And look, if anyone else thinks they could have done it better, you try and do it. You try and book a TV show that AEW has been excelling since once it started in 2019 and then buying basically a dead brand at the time and trying to boost that as well. Hey, shoot your fucking shot. I like to see you try, honestly. But look, I think people are too hard on Tony Khan. I think everything's been fine. Clark, take the fucking floor.
I got your back. Ben wants.
Yeah, I just wanted to quickly add, right, about the Tony Khan thing, saying nobody else could have bought it or whatever. I think somebody with a lot less money than Tony Khan has could have bought it and made it a better thing. And that's not an insult to Tony Khan. That's me saying Tony Khan has a wrestling promotion. And it's difficult to own multiple wrestling promotions because every booker has their own philosophy. So if you own multiple, then one of them is just going to be a light version of the other. It's gonna be the case. You mentioned ECW and what it became under Vince. It's obviously, I don't think it's going to be to that extreme, but it's not going to be Ring of Honor anymore. It's going to be Ring of Honor under Tony Khan's vision, which is basically AW Light.
What about Raw and
Kobe
SmackDown?
is saying here.
What about Raw and SmackDown?
But they still feel the same. Come on, they still feel the
It's still
same.
the same.
No, they don't. They feel shite.
No. I mean,
but I mean, does
feel
one
the
feel
same as
bigger than
each
the
other.
other, or do they feel like equals?
Yeah,
Well, to your theory is what I'm saying.
it's
Given
a good
your theory,
point, apart
Raw and
from I
SmackDown
don't
feel like
think that's
equals?
going to be the case. That's not the case.
Do they feel like equals or no?
Answer the question.
At this time, yeah, they do.
Oh,
But I don't think that's going to be the case.
Wild how that
I don't think
works.
This is going to be. I don't think this is going to be that
I
situation.
hear where you're coming from, but I was just saying.
I
I'm like,
really,
hey.
really don't.
Okay, wait.
And,
I need these Kobe comments because that's where all this is coming from, and
okay,
I'm ready to go.
I'll add on to Clarky Boy's point as well. That the only thing that feels different is NXT because that's developmental. Raw
And even then, they tried to make them an equal.
That was
Leading into
different.
36, they tried to make them an equal.
That's
That's why they had Rhea and Charlotte.
It's
That was
all
under Triple
WWE.
H. That wasn't under. That wasn't under. If Tony Khan, for example, owns it and hires somebody else to take care of Ring of Honor and do it like Vince did with Triple H, I'd praise Tony Khan for doing that. I'd be like, great decision. That would make sense. It would make Ring of Honor feel different, just like NXT felt different to everything else. But yeah, Kobe Galanzowski, producer Kobe, is in the comments saying Ring of Honor won't subscribe. Why would you cancel? You can watch it on your computer. Oh, the soul canceling.
Okay, keep going.
Kobe's recommended to watch pre-pandemic Ring of Honor. Then he's bringing up a good point. Is it simply the fact that the gate was bigger just because of TK owns it now, and that because of the AW fan base? And of course, if that is the case, then long term, that audience is not going to be there. That's a very short term thing because people are like, well, I want to see this. It's new. Tony Khan owns it. I saw it promoted on Dynamite. But as soon as they go, and let's be honest, it's not as big names in Ring of Honor, obviously. But yeah.
Can I go?
And also, Kobe's also saying that he appreciates Anthony Ricciardi keeping it real and saying that FTR and the Briscoes matches were the highlights, which is undoubtedly true. And listen, I'm not here right now saying that Ring of Honor is all bad under Tony Khan. I'm not saying that. The FTR Briscoes matches were great. There's been a few other good moments throughout it. And like I said, I'm looking forward to going to the show WrestleMania weekend. I still actually don't think it would be as good as pre-Tony Khan Supercard of Honor, if I'm being completely honest. But it's still, it's the way it's gonna go. But what do you think about it all, Clark?
So you go back to the original screen here, and then we can go to me when we're gonna clip this. But I have a question further than just the SmackDown versus Raw thing, and I've been planning this for a while. I've been reading the comments. I'm sure Kobe might answer this one in the comments. But what year did ROH start?
2002.
And how many major TV deals has they had in that time?
It's as old as me.
They had HD
Right.
Net.
How many major TV deals have they had?
I know they were on HD Net at one point.
HD Net? Is that like a cable add-on?
I think it's Access now. I think it's what it was.
Access TV. And how long did that last? How big of numbers did they do? And so the expectation
know.
when
They have
Tony
no
Khan
TV deal
bought them
now.
was that they could get a TV deal. Am
They
I
don't have
wrong?
one now.
Well, that's what Tony Khan
Correct me if
publicly
I'm wrong.
said.
No, but the expectation for ROH from 2002 until 2022, what is that, 20 years? I don't do math, remember, guys. So for 20 years, the expectation was that they had a great niche audience that didn't quite garner a major network television deal. But it's weird. As soon as Tony Khan bought him, the expectation was for ROH to suddenly get a major network television deal.
Well,
And
he got a
that's
TNT
completely
deal.
unfair.
He got TNT, but without the launch.
Yes, he very much did with AEW. The
That's what I'm
ROH
saying.
brand doesn't carry enough weight to get a major TV deal. Or guess what? Over the last 20 years, they'd have got one. And so for in this 1 year to go, Tony should have got a deal. That's ridiculous. It's absurd. It's absurd expectation. And it's because of who bought it. The answer is that's the point that Soul made. It's because of who bought it. When Tony Khan bought it, everybody looked and goes, oh, they're going to get a network deal. They'd have got one if they earned one. They'd have got one. Of course he did. Because guess what? He's done it before and he believes he can do it. He's proven he can do it. He did it with a no-name brand. He did it with a no-name brand. He did it with a brand that had never been on TV.
And that's why people
More
thought
impressive.
TV deal.
ROH is a 20-year established brand.
And
they
he
didn't
couldn't
do
get a TV
anything
deal.
in 20 years to earn a television deal outside of being bought by Tony Khan. That's why the expectations were laid in the first place. We'd have been whining for the last decade. I'm a longtime ROH fan myself. We've been whining for a decade. Why aren't they on Spike? Why aren't they on Fox? Why aren't they on this network? Why aren't they on that network? We haven't been doing that. Tony Khan buys them all of a sudden. Oh no, we need ROH on a network, don't we now?
Well, he kept hyping it.
That's where
Yeah,
that
he
were gonna
kept
get a
saying that.
he said it too. That's fine, by the way.
He said
heard-
something he was going to do it, and he didn't do it. But it's not only
He
that,
didn't
right?
pull it off,
So
but at
I
the
agree
same
with you
time,
completely,
ambition is
Clark.
something to be commended.
Apart from he's taken the Ring of Honor, you know, the Black Mat, all of that, what made it Ring of Honor. He's taken it and made it feel like AEW. So
From
if
a
you're saying,
branding
like, you want
standpoint, it's a
hardcore
difficult
audience,
transition for
if
sure.
you're saying
Any
it's going to be the
acquisition.
hardcore audience is what he's after, but he's taken away all the hardcore elements of it. So then it's like, well, he's lost that audience.
So hypothetically, Ben, if someone else buys
mainstream
it,
audience, but he's failed.
if someone else buys it, Ben, do we still expect them to get a TV deal?
No, but I don't think that's the.
Well, here's the thing.
That's not the point.
Tony got a TV deal with AEW, which was nothing other than initials at the time. That's why people thought he would get a TV deal with Turner or be on HBO Max or maybe change Rampage into Ring of Honor. That's what the perception was, considering how much money and resources he has. People expected him to do more than sit on it for a year and then put it on Honor Club, which he already owned in the first place.
No question. But at the end of the day, Ring of Honor had 20 years to build the brand to a level beyond where they were, and they, at the end of the day, cut their whole roster and sold to Tony Khan.
Yeah.
I mean, do we know
as a business, they didn't exactly succeed.
Do we know what Ring of Honor?
While they had a hardcore fan base, it's a
That's
little
what
bit like the indie band that never gets their major deal.
I'm willing to bet that this year, well, I mean, okay, in the next 24 months, let's not even just say 12, they will lose more money than they even did in the last 24 months of it under Sinclair, this even including the pandemic.
That's only because they're going to spend more money to make it better.
Correct.
Yeah, and I don't think it's going to work out. I really don't, because I think there's going to be high production value. Nobody's going to watch it because it's behind a paywall.
So then my question would be, how else could they make the jump than by spending more money?
It should be on free. If they're going to do it the way that they're doing it, they should just decide, okay, we're just going to lose the money for the time being, and just put it on YouTube for free even until they get a TV deal. I think even that would be a way to...
They could have replaced Dark and Elevation with Ring of Honor. It's exactly what they could have done on the YouTube. And it wouldn't have cost them anything because they're already flying those people out during the same tapings of AEW. So what's the difference?
I guess
the Ring of Honor brand?
I guess the crowd is the
What's
only...
the difference?
I mean, come on, think about it. Look back to the past of what happened when, Vince put a WCW hour on Raw and everyone had their old little crap in their pants.
It was once.
WCW, but still, he did it.
Screw it.
It was
that could have happened again. But look, I want to say, like, we don't know what I've never seen what the viewership was under Sinclair for Ring of Honor. Was it like 10,000 or 2,000?
It was on syndication and Honor Club. I don't know what the numbers are for that.
So it's probably dog shit. I mean, what do you want them to be like? Impact, where they're pulling in minuscule numbers, but they have a great roster and product because they're on a shit network. It's better than it's the future. Being on Honor Club is the future of where entertainment is going in even the next 2 years of being exclusively on streaming service. No one's going to give a shit about television in 2 or even 1 year. No one's going to give a shit.
That's true, but I still don't think anybody's going to pay $9.99 to just watch ROH TV.
And you're getting
and
less
old stuff and not pay-per-views.
You're getting less.
The network or Peacock, you can get Peacock for that price. The entire WWE catalog, WWE pay-per-views, and the entire Peacock library for the exact same price. Nobody can tell me you can justify in any way, shape, or form. The $9.99 for Honor Club is in the slightest justifiable. It's about $5 too expensive.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but hang on there. Look at what is Ring of Honor's been around for maybe 21 or 22 years, right? WWE been around for the fucking dark ages, right? They've got whole loads of shit that could be chucked on there. Documentaries. They've got documentaries. They've got other brands. They've got WCW's catalog as well for the whole 99. That's fair. They've got a whole load of shit. For Ring of Honor, they've only got their own stuff, past stuff, and even like a few little playlists and stuff as well, right? You can't expect them to be on the level.
That doesn't justify $9.99 then, Soul.
It doesn't justify at all. Like, you can be like, oh, okay, well, ethically that should be the case. But ethical reasons don't make people take their money out of their pocket.
I paid $60 a charity. For every WWE show for 20 years.
Look, if people can pay all these high expensive money for pay-per-view every single couple months
in your house,
you can afford $9.99 for Ring of Honor, right? If you're paying all this high money for pay-per-views of all these random indie companies and even the big ones as well, you can afford $99 for Ring of Honor Club, honestly.
$120 for weekly TV and the old tape library is what you're saying.
Yeah, so
That's
I
what you're
paid
saying.
I paid $59.99 for a WWE in your house show where the lights went out during it in the late 90s.
They weren't that high back then. They were like
yeah, they
$30.
were. They're okay, $30.
The one that went out.
Show. We're worried about $9.99 a month.
But again, it's a different time now. People aren't spending as much money in that. Like, it's true. People are being tighter with their money than they were. I mean, obviously, inflation and all that. But people are being a bit tighter with their money than they were before. And honestly, right now, when there's so many streaming services, and that's the thing, that people are canceling them because there's too many. And Ring of Honor really think they can enter this. Tony Khan really thinks he can enter this with offering not only not as much past content, but not offering all the current content. It's like, well, you can watch this weekly show, which builds up to the pay-per-views. However, I'm not going to give you the pay-per-view. You've got to pay more money for that. So you're paying money to pay more money.
Not even a discount. Ring of Honor actually did that because there were different tiers with Honor Club. But all the tiers, if you didn't get the pay-per-views included, you at least got a discount. Like, I think it was like a 50% discount if you bought the pay-per-view.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, you are right. Yeah. So you have 20 seconds. You have 20 seconds.
Fine. Look, I'll say here, maybe it's contract stuff as well, because Honor Club wasn't up until recently, and they had to get the shows out there. Maybe they made a contract with Fight, and it's locked in there, and maybe it's a year thing or just a couple of years thing or whatever until they can actually get the pay-per-views on Honor Club. So yeah, it's probably a contract thing, right, for this whole thing. And I bet as soon as that's up, they can get it on Honor Club.
Ring of Honor got them on there, and they weren't Fight.
Yeah, that's true. Right, anyway, guys, that is all we have time for on today's broadcast. But thank you for joining us. It's been a hectic episode, but a great one at that. I will be back tomorrow with who am I with tomorrow? Soul and Kobe. It's gonna be tomorrow. I'm gonna be giving our Elimination Chamber predictions. While Clark is me back on Saturday with not with Anthony, with Ignacio and Chaos giving their predictions for Elimination Chamber. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you tomorrow. Thank you.
I'm gonna shout at you.